everyone. My name is Jasmine, and I am your small town gray witch here to talk to you about depression or lows with your witchcraft. So it seems like every witch goes through at least a low, whatever you want to say, in their witchcraft, where it's just the muggle struggle gets into issues and the witchcraft tends to fall to the side. When it comes to depression or things like that, it can fall a little bit more. So, first, disclaimer. If you experience depression, witchcraft is not a substitute for actual therapy. Sometimes we need help, and witchcraft is not a solve-all. If you need actual professional help, please seek it. Witchcraft is only the sprinkles on the cupcake, as I say. It's my favorite metaphor. Where it's an additive. It is not the end-all be-all. Okay? But how do we get back into our witchcraft? There are a few things we can do while going through depression, and some things may not work for you, or they may work for you, and that is okay. But there are things we can do that will help, or maybe even just not make it worse. Alright. So, first off, I am only speaking from my point of view and what helps me. Just because this helps me does not mean it helps you. Alright? So, just so you guys are aware, I was diagnosed with extreme anxiety, acute PMDD, and my anxiety does lead to depression. When I get overwhelmed or anxious too much, I do go into a depressive state. That is kind of the way it works. So with me, if you can diagnose and help with the anxiety, the depression will then get better. So root cause in a sense. So I am speaking from that viewpoint, and what helps me doesn't mean it's going to help you. I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I am just speaking from my point of view and what helps me to give maybe you an idea that might help you. Try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Alright? So I do have a few ideas of things that we can do when we have no energy to do really anything. Alright? So this goes into the little things that we can do on a daily basis, or on a, when we have energy. Because God knows with depression, we don't always have energy. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is when I'm in the shower, I like hot water. So as the hot water, I just take 3 more minutes in the shower under the hot water, and I can imagine all of the energetic gunk from the day flowing off me and flowing down the drain. And I just sit in the hot water, imagining it actually cleansing my aura, not just my body. That is the main thing that I tend to do every time I take a shower, especially when I have depression, because it just makes me feel a little bit lighter. Alright? You can also manage to say things in the shower, like, I feel that it's coming off my body, or let this water cleanse my aura, or things like that, if you can manage to that. Sometimes thinking about words is hard, so I just let it cleanse. Water is great for cleansing, so let it do its job. Alright? Light a candle on your altar or light incense. You don't have to always have a purpose for lighting your candle. You can just light a candle. It doesn't have to, you could do it for the pretty smell. You don't always have to have this candle prettily engraved and carved and rolled in whatever herb you want or anything like that. You don't always need that. Like, your spirit guides, your deities, your team know what you're going through. Like, they can see it. So sometimes literally just lighting the candle is good enough. If you use electric candles, flip that baby on and just let it be on. Alright? If you can manage. It's always, everything is if you can manage. But just let it be on your altar. Let them know that, like, you're still trying. Alright? So, some things that I do is I hang things around my house. Most witches do when we're feeling up for it. When you're not in depression, hang a... excuse me. Hang a sigil or a item, a bell, something by your door, even if it's your bedroom door, your kitchen door, whatever door. And when you use that door, just put your hand over the thing. So it could be an evil eye talisman. You could literally draw a sigil on a piece of paper and pin it, tack it, tape it, whatever you're allowed to do to your wall. And every time you pass by that door, just touch it. Obviously, creating the thing or hanging it up might be done when you're not in a depressive state. But when you're in that depressive state, just touching it might actually, like, give it the energy, protection sigil, yada yada yada. So touching the things when we walk by them doesn't take much energy. Put it on your bedroom door. Every time you have to pee, touch it as you walk through, because you're gonna get up to pee. Hopefully you're not peeing in your bed, but just tap it. Alright, that's one thing you can definitely do while you're eating. Alright, you gotta get down, baby. While you're eating, just take a moment and be like, I am thankful for the nutrients that is going into my body. Even if you're eating ho-hos, you're still eating. Or ding-dongs or Little Debbies or whatever you're eating, it's still providing your body something. It doesn't always have to be good. Yes, it's better to eat healthy while you're on depression. Fruits, veggies, things like that. But sometimes you just can't. So it doesn't matter what you're eating. Just be thankful that you are eating. And acknowledge that as you're eating. So that's one thing you can do. A lot of depressive people listen to music when they're feeling depressed, even if it's depressive music. Because it talks to the soul. So while you're listening to that music, just kind of meditate on the music. A lot of people think meditation is sitting there and being quiet and still for minutes, hours, whatever, on end. No, literally meditation could be just sitting there, bobbing your head. Oh, I'm tired, sorry. Bobbing your head to the music, getting it going, yada yada yada. So, like, it doesn't have to be like this big thing. It can just be like listening to the music, letting it flow through your body and talk to your soul. That can be a form of meditation. So if you can't meditate, even when you're not in depression, but like if you can't meditate while you're in depression because you're having a hard time with that connection, try listening to music. Even if it's sad music or angry music or happy music. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Try listening to music and letting it feed your soul, okay? That's one thing you can do. It doesn't have to be every day. Just when you can. When you want to turn on that music, do that. So I have a hard time with this one. This one's like an ultimate goal. But get yourself outside. Yes, going for a walk around the block or this, that, and the other thing can definitely help. But sometimes it's hard to leave the house. So sometimes it's just a matter of sitting on the steps, stepping outside in the sun and sitting on your steps. Like, that's as far as I go, and then I retreat. But sometimes that's just a little step outside. I'm sorry, I'm yawning so much. But stepping outside can just help, you know? So step outside, let the sun hit your face for even a few minutes before going back to bed. So get outside. If you can manage, go for a walk. Awesome. Exercise outside. But the sun really helps fight depression, so try that, alright? So those are my few tips and tricks. I'm going to keep this video kind of short because I don't have the energy for it, and I bet people who are listening to this one probably don't have the energy too much for it either. So those are my tips or tricks to try to help fight the depression. Just in general, acknowledge the small goals, keep realistic expectations, and don't be too hard on yourself, alright? You're going through it, and it's okay to go through it. If you're going to cry, acknowledge that's the alchemy of your body releasing the things that it needs to release, and be thankful that you're crying. You're allowed to cry, alright? Alright, so, to keep it short and sweet, try to have a good day. Keep working at it, and most importantly, go do magic. Bye, everybody.